All right.
Hello and welcome to the Insane Gorillazz podcast. Today we are talking about the Belladonna of Sadness. Do you want to try to explain what this movie is about, Ty? Or do you want me to go
Straight
ahead?
into it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I really, if you want to know what my take on this movie was, uh, it was kind of I don't know, I kind of saw it as well, I'd rather have you go first because I have some really interesting thoughts about it that I need to play off of you,
Okay, okay.
basically.
I got you. So this movie kind of follows a woman who gets, well, I don't want to say the word, so we're going to say what it rhymes with, graped. She gets graped multiple times
Oh
throughout the movie.
God.
And yeah, it's one that I did not like this movie. The story was interesting, but but the animation just it screams the 70s. So with the very bright colors
Mm,
and very flowery, all that type of stuff, very flower power age. Um,
disagree. I
you really
mean, I
disagree
do.
with that? It
Yeah, I
opens
mean,
with
hold on. Hear me out. Is it inspired by the 70s and the 60s and that whole musical movement, especially hippie movement, that whole thing?
no, it just has the
Absolutely.
look of it. I don't think it's inspired
No,
by it. I think it
no, it
looks
clearly
has the
is.
look of it.
Oh, I disagree. It's clearly very inspired by that whole movement. Very clearly. It's music, the soundtrack, it sounds like it's was made by the Doors, it was made by the Beatles, you know. It sounds like that, like during like their experimental era. Sounds like it was taken straight out of the 60s, bro. Straight out of the late 60s. And the psychedelic animation style is very unique to that time period. Like anime in the 70s was more like I mean as it is today, but not exactly. But I mean art style wise, it's very should I say transactional, I guess. Not transactional, but it's like made for TV or made for whatever. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, I sort
it's
of.
utilitarian. It's utilitarian. It's not like meant to be artistically. I mean, it is. It's artistically expressive, but it's not in the same way. Like the art style, for example, right? You
Here,
know, I
here.
watch a lot of
Wait, I
anime.
found a quote from the Belladonna of Sadness was the product of an animation studio that knew it was doomed. It becomes apparent early on when viewing the Belladonna of Sadness that the film is quite unique, and that's kind of what hurts it. It is a little too
Yeah,
unique. But
I
it,
actually agree with that. I agree with that. Right?
yeah,
I think this
I think
movie is very unique.
it's very unique, and I think it's a little too artsy for my
Disagree.
taste.
I mean, for your taste, that's fine. Your taste, that's fine. I get that. All right, we have different preferences. You know, I tend to go for the fucking pretentious garbage, if you will. You know, it's true. You have to know where your faults are. It's true. But I thought this movie actually had a pretty good set of core messages. And I probably should have wrote some notes down because I'm having a really hard time thinking about how I'm gonna approach everything that it says, but symbolism was like incredibly powerful. Like the visual, the way they tied in like the what was happening, the sexual assault and the dynamic between John and the authority figures, you know. I thought the way that they depicted that was very interesting and very impactful, and there are very many clear parallels to religion and kind of some well, no, not kind of, but definitely some major negative aspects or negative associations with it. And, you know, viewed through that lens, I think that's how I make most of my observations about this movie. I actually remembered a lot of really good points, like individual points about it from the movie. Like, from so many different perspectives. I don't know. See, whereas you would like to know why you don't like it, but I will say that I thought that almost every single scene had some kind of symbolic or metaphorical significance. Like truly, I thought every scene did. Like even though what might actually be happening might not seem to make any sense, I think the underlying intent of the artists during that scene was like very clear. And real quick, because I'm ranting, but I would like to kind of draw back to something you just said actually at the very beginning. And you said that the art style is very 70s-ish, right? I kind of touched on it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think, especially in regards to the amount of still frames, because there's very little movement except when there's these huge climactic moments. But other than those huge climactic moments or those huge tragic moments, everything is super framey. You know what I mean? The characters' mouths don't move when they talk, and it's like, like that. But it could be because of a budget thing. It very well could be, but I personally think it's intentional. I think it kind of doubles down on the storyboarding aspect of this movie. Everything feels like a storyboard or a series of paintings that are connected. And I think that the still frames and the transitions between them kind of add to that feeling of restrictiveness also that I think this movie gets really
Mm.
talks about really well. And that's to summarize, I guess, or to kind of re reinterpret what I'm saying. I kind of think this movie is really about authoritarianism versus like extreme hedonism, like a core duality between people giving into their desires and how we repress them and how people can use those repressed states to control other people more effectively and the positive and negative benefits and after effects of that. And it also, I think, has a lot to say about sexuality, clearly. I mean, that's
Mm.
like a huge part of the movie. But I think like a huge focus on it is like sexuality and the way that people demonize it, like in a
Yeah.
way,
Definitely.
almost literally. Like in the movie, it's definitely presented literally,
Yeah.
um, which feeds into some of my theories. But I'll let you
Well, the
give
little
your
devil
slight
at the beginning is
interpretation
definitely phallic shaped. So, and
for
so
sure. And definitely does something that made me
yeah,
like when he like
it's
slid into her
uncomfortable.
like
It's
yeah,
really
it's
weird.
uncomfortable.
But
It is.
that's kind of what drives the story is her getting raped, and then just the guy who did the raping, uh, who kind of just keeps ruining her life, and that's how like a
Mm,
revenge story starts to unfold. Her trying
well,
to
a little
get
bit, but
back.
I kind of saw it a little bit differently. Kind of saw it as sorry, I have to burp real quick. No, I kind of saw it as there was the initial thing with the Lord of the Land, right? When the two main characters who are unfortunately named John and John, both named John. I guess I don't know, they're French. But Lord and ask him for his like blessing in marriage, you know what I mean? And that's when he does it. And this is at the very beginning when he first commits this sexual abuse.
Yeah.
And first of all, the imagery used there in that scene, I think, was one of the best, one of the most shocking and yet like
You
you
could
know,
understand.
impactful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was definitely like, you know what I mean? Very apparent. It was like showing you without showing you. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like using the exaggeration of the art to portray something really terrible. and it was really that when I saw that, I kind of knew. I was like, all right, so this movie's gonna be this way. But after that happens is when she starts having these interactions with the devil, right? And it's the devil himself. I'm pretty sure it's literally Satan. I
Yeah.
think. But
I'm not sure if it's actually Satan, but they do refer to him as kind of the devil. So
a devil, yeah. We know for a fact that this is like a Christian type of like theocracy almost that they live under. You know what I mean?
well, it's a medieval
Like a
time type of
right,
thing. So like the Catholic Church
medieval
is
France.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the authority figures they use religious justification for subduing these people's everyday wants and desires and things like that, you know? Um, and John, the woman, after this happens, I don't know, it's kind of hinted that she has this inner desire to repel, like, to rebel against like all of this, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, her interactions with the devil or Satan or whatever are like almost entirely transactional. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
in exchange for her body momentarily or whatever, this is his perspective, obviously. I'm not trying to say this is whatever, but from his perspective, it's like, oh, you give me your body for a moment, right? And I'll make things better for you for whatever, for however amount of time.
It's the
Right. So
classic
first it's
making the deal with the devil
yeah,
situation.
it literally is. It literally is the classic making the deal with the devil, right? And so she does. And everything's going smoothly, right? She's selling her cloths, and because of the cloths, she's able to pay the taxes, and she gains power in the um town and all that stuff, whatever. All that stuff, whatever. But it comes to bite her back, and then I think I don't know. This movie for me is it's almost like too much to summarize. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
to me it's like not even a movie in a way. It's like a just a combination of a bunch of like different symbolic things mashed together, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm really into that. I'm really into that. But I mean, obviously there's like a theme going through it, but one thing I did want to talk about is the significance of the flower. Um, Not only is the name of the flower Belladonna, right, which ties into the title of the movie clearly, but not in like a kitschy like, you know, way where it's like, oh, Sharknado. Like it wasn't really like that, but um I think the flower was actually just a hallucinogen and I didn't even realize that until later into the
Yeah.
movie.
Or
Yeah. No. I realized that after they started asking her, or no, shortly before they started asking her about how to use the flower, you know. Um I don't know, I feel like I've really cursed myself by choosing this movie. I feel like I've made a great mistake.
you did.
I
I
feel like I've made a
really
great
honestly
mistake.
for me I did not enjoy watching this movie. It's just a little
No, I mean I
too
loved it.
much of I just I don't know. I
Uh,
just
I
it's just too much for
sorry, I
me.
keep
It's
interjecting.
too anime for me.
This is no. This is very not anime actually. Well, in a
Or it's
way it
too
is very anime.
artsy. It's too in depth for me, probably for
It's too
my small brain.
you do not have a small brain.
Yes, I do.
You do
So,
not. Do not say that. No, but I don't know. I think I'm actually very sad that I picked this movie for our review because this is a movie that I feel like I'm gonna rewatch like 15 times or some stupid shit to try to understand it better.
find more meaning.
Um, well, no, I think I understood it pretty well when I watched it the first time, but it's just such a combination of things, like different things that my mind, I only remember like feelings and like images. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't remember it like plot wise. Like, for example, I know I use this in literally everything. It's just what I know best. But for example, with Berserk, I could tell you the plot of Berserk step by step. I could tell you the plot of I don't know, a Ghibli movie step by step because to me they're so concretely linked in that way. But this movie is like something else. I don't know.
For
I'm gonna
me,
be
it
honest.
almost feels like this movie kind of just tries to break almost social norms. Because I think the company almost wanted to go out with a bang and was like, okay, let's talk about all the dark stuff that life has, like all the bad stuff that life kind of throws at us. And
Well, I don't know why it said that because I think the studio, I think Mushi Studios is still around
they went
today. I'm pretty
bankrupt.
sure. Are you sure?
Yeah, I
I
saw it.
think.
Mushi Studios.
Yeah, maybe it's Mushi Productions now, but I'm pretty sure that's Osamu Tezuka's um like company that he started.
I'll look it up real quick. What's the actual studio that did this? I had it somewhere.
Look,
The
and Mushi, yeah, it's Mushi Studios, Mushi Studios I think became Mushi Productions. This is Osamu Tezuka's production company. Studio.
Let me try. I'm trying to. Is it Mushi Studios? Are you sure? Or was it made
Yeah.
under something and then absorbed by another company?
Well,
Because
I
that
know
tends
for
to
a
happen
fact
with stuff.
those. Well, I know for a fact that this is the company that made this anime is Mushi Studios, and I know for a fact that Mushi Studios are the company that Osamu Tezuka started, because that's what all of like his animations went through and whatnot.
It's neither written nor directed by
Yeah, yeah,
Osamu
no, I don't think he didn't
Tezuka.
work on it personally, but it is under his production company.
It's inspired by a book.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Says that at the beginning, Matt. Did you not pay attention, silly?
Not to the. You know how bad I am with reading like the big the information at the beginning of a movie. I'm just really bad at reading that when it when I have to decipher it from Japanese to English. I'm just not good at it.
That's fair.
What
Yeah,
is
that's
it that
fair.
one TV show or anime you gave me that was like they were rapidly giving out dialogue?
Fucking fuck, what was it?
I forget, but
Oh my
it
God, I
was
know
one
what you're
where it
talking.
was
No, I
almost
know that.
impossible for me to understand because there was no dub or anything, so I couldn't
Yeah,
hear it in English. But you had to
it's the
read
Tatami
paragraphs at a
Galaxy.
time. Yeah, I
It's the
could not do
Tatami
that.
Galaxy.
I could
It's
not do
like one of
that.
my favorites.
It's too quick for me. It's like rapid information.
Yeah.
Here's
Did
the
you at least
story.
like the scene? Did you at least like the scene where the where the rabbits jumped out of the guy's butthole?
I don't know if
Did
I
you at
even
least
made
like
it
that
that
scene?
far. I don't even.
Did you not? No, no, no.
I
In this movie,
oh, in this
in this
movie,
movie,
yeah, I got
were you
through
not
this.
paying attention? There was a huge orgy, and then there was like a dog there, and there was like a clam and a
I really
mussel,
want
and
to
they were
know
all
how close
connected.
this story of the Belladonna of Sadness is to the original, like what it's based off of. I want to know how close it
I would
is,
like to know too, because
because
you know what I thought? Sorry, I'm going off track a bit, but can I say something that I thought
yep,
when I watched it? A scene, that fucking orgy scene. I was genuinely amazed at all the ways that they could connect people together, together physically. I was baffled. I was like, wow, this is the most creative fucking game of connect the human I've ever seen. It was genuinely it was like mind blowing. I was like, this is amazing.
I think
And
it's almost
it had
strange at that time that this actually ended up making it like getting out there and becoming because it was nominated for some awards, and then for that time period, I don't think they'd be that open to this to what this movie kind of discusses. But I guess it just surprises me.
I think it's all well, I think I agree with you. I think it's really ahead of its time in a way. And I think a big theme of the movie actually is kind of I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to word this without it coming off like weirdly. But I think it has a lot to do with like the suppression of women's rights across history. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the subjugation of women's individual rights, and also to a larger extent, like on a bigger scale, it's also about the subjugation of um people's desires. You know what I mean? And I think a huge component of it is like it, like the authoritarian, lordship, feudal system, whatever. It's like a parallel to like I don't know. It's like God, I can't. It's so hard. It's so difficult for me to explain. It's literally just a flash of images. But you know what? Speaking of that flash of images, you know what it reminds me of? You know what I was thinking of?
Hmm.
Even though this came out before, this reminds me of The Wall, of the animation of The Wall, you know?
I don't know what that is.
The album by Pink Floyd.
Oh, the
There was
white
there's a
wardrobe. Trying to think.
no. Wall.
Let me
It
look
had
it
an
up. Oh,
animated like an animated movie that, or it was adapted into an animated
Pink
movie,
Floyd,
but
The
I'm pretty
Wall.
sure it came out. Yeah.
Oh, there is a movie. Might need to
Yeah,
watch
what year
that.
did that come out? What year did
1982.
that come out? Yeah, so this came out like 10 years before that, but it gives me lots of vibes of that. Like
I didn't know
this
there was
movie
a
straight up
movie for
gives me
that.
like,
I thought that was just an album.
ah man,
Are you sure the
the whole
movie's actually
animation.
related to it?
Bruh, yes, it is. It's
Oof.
like a musical, like an animated musical,
I have to watch
which is
that.
kind of what this is. This is kind of that. Not literally. What the fuck am I saying? No, it's not literally that, but it's in the same vein. You
It
know what I mean?
almost
It's like kind of
feels what is it? Like the what's the Disney movie? There's a Disney movie that where like
Fantasia.
yeah, Fantasia, where like the music kind of pushes it along, but there's also a story backing it up. But it's kind of driven by the music itself. Like it's almost like a
Yeah,
concert.
yeah, no, Fantasia definitely is, but this one's more, I think, visually inspired. You know what I mean? This movie takes a lot more from the visual aspect of it. But I think even if you don't, okay, so let's break it down to the very basic level, all right? You don't like the story, or you don't like
I don't
the
like the
final product.
psychedelic art aspect
Okay.
of it.
You don't like the abstract,
Yeah.
artsy. I bet you'd hate David Lynch. I bet you'd hate David Lynch. Or his
Uh,
not literally hate him, but hate his movies.
I don't know if I hate his movies. I might hate him. No, just
I hate both.
look up David Lynch. Maybe I've seen some of his stuff before.
I feel like you'd remember it if you did, but I also don't
Uh,
think you'd like it.
I have seen some of his stuff. I think.
Eraserhead? Have you seen Eraserhead?
No, but I've seen. I remember this guy. Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks, classic.
I think I've seen Twin Peaks. I don't know if I'd
Mm.
actually really like his stuff. A lot of his stuff is really out there.
Bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's kind of the point. Like, there's just no point in for further connections and David Lynch's stuff. Like, it's just like don't even. I mean, well, not necessarily. Like, there might be connections to be made, but like, for the most part, it's just like you might as well just stop while you're at it
Oh
trying to
yeah, I
analyze it
watched
because
I watched Dune recently. That's where I remember him recently. He worked on
the
Dune.
original Dune, the
Yeah,
original movie adaptation.
yeah.
Okay.
I watched that like 3 days ago.
Huh.
So yeah,
Well,
I've seen some of his stuff.
this movie, The Belladonna of Sadness,
He worked on the
this movie
Cleveland
reminds me
show.
of mixture of like the 60s, 70s psychedelic, hippie movement mixed with anime, mixed with like abstract filmmaking. So I love it. I'm not even gonna lie. This is like in my top 10 anime of all time.
Really? Out of
I'm
all
joking.
the
I loved
anime
it so
you've
much.
seen, I wouldn't
Yes,
rate
it
it
was
that high.
creative.
I
It
don't
was
know.
different. It was creative. It
It's
was,
different, that's for
in
sure.
my opinion, it was well written. I thought it had some really, really, really interesting things to say, some really cool parallels to draw. Thought it brought up a lot of really difficult to consider questions and things, and I really appreciate that in a movie. It was different. It was, in a way, it was kind of what I was looking for. So that's what I meant when I said that I'm sad that I chose this one for the podcast because I haven't really had enough time to digest how I feel about it yet. You know what I mean?
Uh huh.
Because usually when I watch something, it's like a consumable. You know what I mean? Like even though I do like to find like a deeper meaning in things, I kind of come away from it with this sense of, right, movie completed. I've absorbed everything that I could possibly absorb from it during the movie. But with this movie, I feel like I need to go back, like re-examine some things. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Re-examine certain plot points, re-examine what happened.
I think
Because I don't even.
comparatively, I think this film matches up with for what we've done in the podcast so far. It's the
Mhm.
closest to Perfect Blue, in my opinion. Which I know
Oh,
I didn't like
really?
that one. Well, for what we've done in the podcast so far, it matches Perfect Blue the most because it goes.
No, I disagree.
What other
Angel's
film?
Egg.
Angel's.
Angel's Egg.
Oh yeah, Angel's Egg. Yeah, for me probably Perfect Blue. But I think honestly, if I know I know I'm gonna say stuff that I don't like about this because I definitely feel like this film is like a cult like favorite film, like a cult classic type film. So I'm not a part of
Oh,
that cult.
classic, yeah.
I'm not a part of this cult. So
Okay. You're dissenting. You're dissenting from the crowd. I'm
no,
just kidding. Most people would probably really not like this movie.
I think
Or
I like
maybe
Perfect
I'm
Blue better than this. I think Perfect
really.
Blue. It's the one that I could get on if I watched it more probably and started to understand more of it. This
It's
one, on
less
the other hand,
abstract.
I think it's just too abstract for me. It's just this one
Too
I think
abstract
watch once and then I'm done. I
for you.
think
Okay.
I'm done with it. Maybe if
That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
I mean,
I'm gonna rip this
go
one
ahead.
for my review. It's
Do
gonna be
it.
terrible for this one. So
Do it. Do it. Rip it apart. Do it apart. Rip it
yeah,
apart right now.
the psychedelic aspect is not my favorite. I don't like all the. I like having color, but in this one, it's almost like a watercolor type of look to it,
Hmm.
where like colors mix and collide, and it's just one that I don't like that like that color scheme and stuff. I don't like watercolor looks, but it's just too psychedelic for me. It's also I don't know. The story is I don't. One thing that really gets on my nerves is when they have too much sex in a movie. I don't like that.
Right?
I don't like that. And this is
It's real.
literally it's literally all it is. Um,
Yeah, but that's like a huge. That's like not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, why should we label that as something that is off limits to be taught? You know what I mean?
no,
I
I
feel
just
like
don't
we
think.
are projecting, or maybe. Well, hold on. Can I finish? Because I just had a thought.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
feel like people over stress like the promiscuity of it. It's like a real thing that happens. You know what I mean? It needs to be talked about. So I think the fact that this movie addresses it in a pretty mature way, I'd say. I mean, it's weird, but the situations that's providing you with like talking about sexuality are like really difficult to wrap your head around, like, or not difficult to wrap your head around, but kind of, it makes you feel like a certain way where you kind of have to really think about what just happened and consider like, you know, the implications of it.
And that's not really my
And
problem.
I
My
really,
what I have a problem with is that it's dry. It's like there's no real like calming down of it. Like it's just sexual, sexual, sexual throughout the entire thing. Maybe have a
I
little bit of a
disagree.
story like here and there
Oh,
where
I
like
disagree.
brings
There
you back.
absolutely is a story. Oh, there absolutely is a story. It just happens to revolve around that. There's absolutely a story here. I would agree agree with you. If I thought it was like shock value, which to some extent it may be like a little bit, but if it was completely gratuitous, then I would be with you. I'd be like, yeah, there's no point for this to happen. But clearly, every time it happens, it builds back into the main themes of the story. It's talking kind of about extreme form of self-gratification that's held down by an extreme form of control. And I think that's what's really amazing about this movie. It's like comparing two extremes. One is the, not necessarily ideal life of the people happens to go through a tragic experience, and which happens to be, via Satan or the devil or whatever, but kind of gives in completely to this hedonistic idea of self-fulfillment. And other people are drawn to it, and it kind of makes you question the value of control in a society. I think, like, the to what degree is it necessary to control people's desires so they don't hurt themselves, and at what point does controlling people's desires subdue them as an individual to the point where they aren't their own people. And I think that's kind of the main point of it. And I think that's why it's expressed so much through sexual scenes. I think it's because that's one of the most common and also one of the most stigmatized forms of gratification, you know?
Hmm.
And historically it's something that is seen as needing to be controlled or needing to be obscured, you know what I mean, even though it's something that is actually encouraged, you know what I mean, it's like encouraged but it's frowned upon. And I think that's kind of the relationship that this movie is talking about. So I think that aspect of it, the sexual whatever aspect of it, is not only not gratuitous, but it's the most important aspect of the movie, I think.
Yeah, I I see where you're coming from, but I'm also that type of person that just I I just think honestly this movie is just I'm a very American type person. I'm very just like give me the action and stuff. And this movie kind of doesn't really give me that I like Die Hard and all those action movies and stuff, and
Right.
I like having action mixed with a good story. This one doesn't give me that like feel of like an action movie. It doesn't have too much action. It does a lot of the story. It's more focused on like a story based around like what is it? Um like a sexual gratification type thing, like where people just give in to
Yeah.
temptations and go ahead and go like, okay, I'm gonna do this for the sake of doing it. But
So as a form of entertainment, you don't like it, basically.
no, I don't. I don't like it.
Okay.
The story's the one thing I do
That's
like
fine.
is I think the story is good. Uh, I don't like the animation, and it's a little choppy at times. But then, if this company was going bankrupt, they couldn't afford to make probably smoother transitions and make it a smooth form of animation. But that could have also been like an aspect they were going for, more
Yeah. It could be
picturesque, more
intentional.
artistic. But
I mean, if
that's
it's
something we
not,
have to
if it's
ask them.
not, I was about to say, because if it's not intentional, if it's a choice made out of saving money, I'm just an idiot. You know? If this is just a money saving choice, I'm just a fucking idiot. Like, honestly. But, you know.
I doubt that. Sometimes when we watch movies and stuff, we sometimes we see stuff that we think is intentional, and and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not.
They apply your own meaning. Yeah, I guess you're right, actually. Yeah, no, I go back on my statement, actually. If I think it's intentional and I see it has value in the movie, I actually don't give a shit if it was cost for money. Like, if it
No.
was done for monetary, you know, cut costs. I changed my mind. It doesn't matter. It served that purpose for me, you know?
Yeah. It's
I think
just
they went broke on this one from the previous movie, 1001 Nights.
Thousand and
No,
One Nights.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the one that caused them to go initially to start to go bankrupt.
Let me look it up. Synopsis.
Sorry, I interrupted your review. I keep interrupting your review. I'm sorry.
Are we
I'll let you
reviewing
finish
it?
without. Yes. No, whatever. I'll let you
I'll go ahead and
finish.
review it. It's just I think maybe I should review mine. Give me your review, and then I'll make a transition into what we're doing next week, and then we'll do uh, the recommendations and leave
Okay.
that way.
Well,
Cause
I've pretty much said my thoughts. I love this movie. I loved it. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna get my friends to watch it. Um, it's interesting. It's weird. It's bizarre. It's creative. It's ahead of its time. It's amazing. It has some of the shows some of the potential greatness that anime is capable of as an art form. You know what I mean? It's not disposable. I mean, I guess that's subjective, but I thought it had something important to say and wasn't just, you know, nothing. So to me, I liked it a lot. And that's all I can say. I can't, that's it. I can't give it a rating. I'm not giving ratings anymore. They're stupid. I don't
okay,
like them.
you do you, man.
So no rating.
I don't think I'm gonna rate this one either, just from the standpoint that I don't think I should rate it because it's definitely not my type of thing, and I probably went in knowing that it's not my type of thing. Um, so that kind of objectively made my opinion biased. Um,
Well, that's
so
the point, though. That's the point of having an opinion. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Go ahead.
I the story is fine with me. It's just there's just a lot of I don't like the animation that much. I think it's too artistic for me. Anyways, for my very American action movie, I like action movies. Steven Seagal, uh, Bruce Willis, all that stuff. Um, uh, I'm very much like I like the action in a movie, and this one doesn't have too much action. So it's a lot of like lingering on subjects. So
That's true.
and that I don't like that lingering sensation. Which, talking about very American, we're gonna pick a movie that Ty's not gonna like for next week, or he says he isn't gonna like. We're gonna talk about uh,
I
Flatliners. We're
might
gonna
like
talk
it.
about Flatliners with Kevin
Flatliners.
Bacon, Julia Roberts, and Kiefer Sutherland, where they try to die
Whoa.
or
Famous
not
people.
try to die.
Wow.
Famous American actor, me likey, action movie, story
I
movie.
I do not like famous people. I do.
Technically,
I do
anyone
not.
can be famous. So
Yeah, and I don't. If
I
you're
don't like
famous,
I don't
fuck
like
you.
famous people like their personal lives. That's why I don't with their personal lives, which but I can't really judge them on that. But
Well, I see them as having a sort of soft power over people that they really. I don't know. It's weird. Fame creates this type of dynamic between people where popularity determines your value. So
mhm.
oftentimes famous people have an inflated sense of self-importance, and then people also have a inflated sense of importance of that
I
other
also
person.
think they're unreal. They're almost unreal with their opinions and views on things.
Well, they're people, but yeah.
They say what people want to hear rather than what they
Yeah,
honestly
yeah, yeah.
think.
It's not real. It's not real. The politics of being famous are upsetting. And so yeah, if someone is famous, like a famous actor or whatever, um, the best opinion I can have of them is total neutrality. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're a good actor, you know, but I have your value to me is that, you know. I mean, actually, that could also be taken very poorly, like
I
very
honestly
wrongly.
think you won't hate this movie. I think you might like Flatliners as like a joke more
Really?
than Like,
That's
because I like it as a joke. I think it's a pretty funny movie just from the It's an interesting topic, but I
yeah.
think you might like it for that aspect. You might not like the actors, but you might like the story.
I mean, if it's so terrible that I can get genuine enjoyment out of it, then it's a good movie.
We'll
You know what I
see.
mean?
We'll see next week. We'll talk about it,
All right.
and then
We will.
I think
We'll see.
we might be doing a Halloween podcast over horror movies. So if you have any suggestions, we'd like a classic horror movie. We're thinking maybe Psycho or something in that area. Maybe even
Saw?
Saw, one of the
I haven't
Saw
seen
movies.
Saw.
Um, just give us your suggestions. Just we might record it live a day before on a Saturday, or we might just record at our usual time, because Sunday is when we usually record these things, and that is Halloween. So we might record early and upload it that night. Have it uploaded by the end of October. So
Yes. That would be
so
nice. We have to. Nothing like a good old consumerist holiday. Get
yeah,
those work juices
give
flowing.
us give us yeah, but yeah, so recommend what you'd like to see us watch, what you'd like to see us tear apart. Maybe it's an anime, maybe it's not. But that's kind of the direction we're going in with Flatliners, which is a thriller. It's not quite horror, but it's kind of on the edge. And then let's get into
On the
recommendations.
edge.
Yeah.
All right.
Also,
Um.
one moment. I just want to say something.
Oh.
Ty does not like Tokyo Ghoul. He doesn't like Tokyo. He thinks
Yeah.
it's too edgy. Tear him apart for that. I've been torn apart
Hey,
for
hey,
stuff I don't
you are
like.
taking.
So let's tear him apart a little bit. Let's make it even.
You are taking. No, no. You're taking my
They took
words
my
out of
legs. They
context.
took my legs and ripped my legs off. Now it's time to rip one of yours
No.
off.
You're taking my words out of context. I didn't say I don't like Tokyo Ghoul because it's too edgy. I said I didn't like Tokyo Ghoul because it was too edgy when I first watched it when I was like 17 or whatever. And I said that it also was a pretty poor quality adaptation
It is.
in
It is
my
definitely.
eyes. So that's my opinion. It could be better than I remembered. I just haven't went back and watched it yet. Because for me, being too edgy isn't really an issue. Like, if there's a point to the movie. It's trying to say something and it does a good job executing it, then I'm fine with it being edgy. Like, that's not an inherently bad thing. So, no, that's all.
Okay. So Ty's gonna rewatch. No, I'm just. I'm just kidding.
Okay, guys. So yeah, next time we're rewatching all of Tokyo Ghoul live on stream.
I don't think we can do that.
I
Copyright
shit
reasons. Maybe we
then I
can get your
shit
reaction.
myself the whole time, scream like I'm being fucking
It's
stabbed to
just too
death.
edgy. Why is he putting on a black mask? What? Why is he all? He's wearing all black now. He's wearing all white. What?
No, I'm screaming. I'm screaming and shitting the whole time so that the fucking anime companies don't copyright it. So, kids will be coming in to see, they'll be coming in to watch, thinking they're streaming Tokyo Ghoul. It's just gonna be sounds of me going for like 2 hours or 5 hours straight. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm fucking I'm crying.
I
I'm
think
going off
I'm
the
in this
deep end.
delirious stage where I'm just like I'm too tired to continue. I need to just send an SOS out there, be like, please, please, just.
This is a thematic Matt, this is so ironic. This is such a thematic parallel. We have become like the movie now. We're in a state of delirium and psychedelia.
Yeah, except I'm
You
not
believe
seeing all
it?
the colors. All I see is black. My desk is
Yeah.
black. Everything's black.
You have become the very thing that you despise.
And what is that?
The Belladonna of Sadness. It's you.
It was me the entire time. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
like the movie. It just reminded
Don't
me of
say
my
that.
personal life. I'm too edgy.
Uh, I can't stand it. It's too depressing.
I am King
Oh.
Kaneki. King of...
That's good.
Okay, well, let's get on to recommendations. We've dug a hole. We've dug a hole, and we need to get ourselves out.
Yeah, we're like writing a fucking script of nonsense right now. But it's good.
That's
It's
pretty
great.
much what these
Oh,
are.
yeah, pretty much. It's just rambling about fucking random bullshit. It's so good.
We review
Anyway,
movies, and then we say that it's pointless to review movies.
yeah. Like anyway, guys, thanks for listening to us talking about this for 2 hours. Also, don't listen to anything we just said. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Movies are subjective. You should review them yourselves or watch them yourselves and make your own opinion of them.
Yeah.
And then recommendations. You got any? I got any. I don't have any actually.
I mean, for recommendations, that's not what we're watching next week, right? It's just a general recommendation,
Are you? Yeah, just in
right?
general. We're watching Flatliners. We've already talked about that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just forgot about that.
Unless
Happened
that's your
5 minutes ago.
recommendation.
Yeah. I'm gonna recommend
Recommend a movie I
Flatliners.
haven't seen before. For the
I'm gonna
sake of
recommend
recommending.
Flatliners just so I can have the power in the situation and say that it was my idea. So I oh my God. What's the word? Just kidding. Joking.
Recommend?
Yeah.
I
I recommend
recognize.
I I recommend the live action JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 movie.
Oh no.
It's awful. It's awful. Go watch it. That's my
Speaking of live
recommendation.
action movies, we're also thinking maybe we do the live action Death Note for our Halloween episode
Yeah,
because we're both
with Willem
we've seen
Dafoe.
Death Note and Willem Dafoe as
Ryuk.
as Ryuk. It's just yeah. I if you want us to watch that and talk about that, go ahead and comment down below. Or if you want us to watch
I have
another
a
movie,
poster.
go ahead, recommend it.
A poster of Ryuk on my wall, which is right next to a poster of H.P. Lovecraft, and they're like both fucking staring at me right now. I
I
don't
think
know.
you're in that delirious state also, and you're just things are
Yeah,
coming to life in your room.
this is what the movie did to me, bro.
Yeah, I see
Tore me
things.
apart. It destroyed my brain.
I'm having personality disorders,
Yeah.
multiple.
Don't joke. Don't joke about that.
I'm
Don't
just.
joke about that.
I think someone's
Don't
inside my
joke
head.
about that. Yeah. Inside your mind.
Yeah, I'm dying.
I'm sorry. I'm
Let's go
sorry.
ahead
I'm
and end this.
fucking. I'm taking the piss so hard right now.
I'm just. Let's go ahead and end this before we get off topic again and start talking and rambling about whatever's happening in our room. That's just.
All right.
They can't see our rooms right now. We got our phone. We got our videos off.
No, but they could. We could
And
provide
maybe I have a
photo
person
evidence.
standing behind me, looking over my shoulder all the time, just like, what the heck's going on? Maybe it's a death god. No one knows. Because
Shinigami. The Shinigami. Anyway.
What's yours look like? You want to touch
What's your
Death
Shinigami
Notes?
look like?
You want to touch my Death Note?
Shinigami. You know what my Shinigami looks like? You want me to explain it? Do you want me to explain my Shinigami
Go
OC
ahead.
to you? Okay.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on. So my Shinigami. Hold on.
How did we get
Hold on.
here?
Okay, so my Shinigami. Hold on.
This better be
Hold
good
on,
for how much you're laughing.
My Shinigami is a 3 foot. Hold on. It's a 3 foot tall corn on the cob tied to a bottle with. I'm sorry.
I don't remember seeing this.
No, it's an OC. It's my OC. It's a corn on the cob, with it as the head with eyes that are two black kernels, and it's stuck to a water bottle, but a giant 5 foot water bottle with popsicle sticks as legs and arms, and
Wait,
it floats around.
so the water bottle's like 2 feet bigger than the actual cup.
It's like a 5 foot tall water bottle, right? It
Yeah,
has
that's,
popsicle sticks for arms, but not just four. They're like normal sized popsicle sticks that form giant arms.
I don't think I want to touch your Death Note, so I don't want to see that
Good.
floating around.
Yeah. And my Shinigami's way too fucking cool. I also forgot to mention he has tattoos all over his body. He has cuts all over him like a fucking badass. So yeah,
He's
my
been through
Shinigami's
some
he's kind of cool. All right, he's kind of
He's
cool.
kind of cool. He's still a giant corn on
He's
the cob attached to a water bottle, but he's still kind of cool.
he's
He's got
kind of
scars.
fucking cool.
He's got scars.
He's a
Carries
little
a tub
bit
of
dark for
popcorn
you.
around and he eats that all the time. Cannibalism, you know?
Yeah, he's a little bit too fucked up for you, bro. A little bit too real.
He's missing an eye. He's got an eye patch. He's got a bottle of Jack Daniels.
What about
with him all the
yours?
time.
What does your Shinigami look like?
I don't know.
What does your personal Shinigami look like?
I think, honestly, it'd be like a bucket of chicken almost.
Bucket of chicken
Because those things haunt me, man. It's just weird.
attached to a dog's body with
No,
14
here.
buttholes.
Here, I got it. I got it.
All over.
I got it.
Okay.
It's a bucket of KFC with a corgi's head sticking out of it. And then it floats
Okay.
around with like the bucket. Like the bucket is upside down and the head of the dog is out, like coming out of the bucket as if like you're pouring chicken. So I don't know
Okay.
if you're. And then it's got like bat wings. So it looks really
Mhm.
weird. And of course, because it's a Shinigami, it has to have scars and all that stuff. So it's missing an eye and it
Okay.
has a scar over it. It's just
Yeah. It's really tiny, also, isn't it? It's like a bucket of chicken with a fucking
no, it's absolutely
Shiba
huge.
head.
It's like 9 feet tall.
Oh, it's huge.
It's like
Does it have legs, or is it just a giant head coming out of a bucket of
it's got
chicken with
wings.
wings?
It's got wings. It need no legs.
Got wings on wings. It's got wings on wings on
Maybe
wings.
it should have chicken legs. I think, like not like like not the actual chicken feet, but like the already cooked chicken leg.
The food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
upside down, so the big part is touching the ground for more surface area.
That's a bona fide biblical creature you've created there.
Yeah.
That's
Or maybe we should give it like chicken wings also. Bat wings and chicken wings.
No, 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 no. You're
Or just the
going too
bat
hard on
wings.
the chicken aspect. No, no, no. You see, all the aspects have to be related barely. You know what I mean? So like the dog head, right, is perfect, and then the chicken bucket, KFC bucket, amazing, and then the bat wings, amazing. If you add chicken legs onto the chicken bucket of KFC, then it's like, bro,
I'm just
trying
repeating
too
something
hard.
that doesn't. Maybe I should just add water.
Yeah.
No. I don't know what I'd add for the legs. What would I add for the legs?
Add used sticks of deodorant, but all the sticks of deodorant were used on someone's butt crack. Like they just took the deodorant stick and then right in between their butt cheeks.
That's
And they're like
have
and
you
that
done
forms the
before? 'Cause
legs.
That's not what I would be thinking.
No, no, I haven't. I just thought of that. I just now came up with that.
Ty's gonna try it later. We're
Yeah,
still in this
what's gonna
delirious
happen.
state where we're just keep digging a hole. So let's go ahead.
This is the best.
Yeah, so I think that's all we got to talk about. We got weird Shinigamis. We're not touching each other's death notes. Maybe if you want to touch ours and see what we're haunted by, you can.
Yeah, yours is covered in shit.
And yours is scarred. Yours has all these scars
Yeah,
and
you-
it's cut up corn. Cut up corn. Oh my
Yours is
god.
covered in shit. I'm not touching your death note because it's covered in shit. You fucking degenerate.
I never
Don't
said
bring
that
that
it was.
fucking
You
thing
just
near me.
assumed that it was covered.
No, no, you didn't want to. You didn't want to tell me. You didn't want to tell me about the fucking shit deodorant sticks that were down
Okay.
by your fucking.
Let's go ahead. Okay. Good. Bye. I'd like to say
Okay,
bye.
goodbye.
Say bye, Ty.
All right. All
Bye.
right. See ya.